All right, here we go. Unfortunately, it looks like the same thing that is happening last time I tried to live stream is happening this time, where there is a panel to the right of my screen where I think I'm supposed to see the live chat, and it just has this monkey, this kind of like error icon, and it's like something went wrong. So I don't think I can see the live chat again today. But I see that there are people in the room, so I trust that you're with me. And I think that you all can see each other's live chats. So if anyone is connected to me on Discord, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my Discord and you can DM me, or if you're in my Discord server, then you can connect and ask questions and chat that way. Otherwise, if you want to say hello to each other, you can talk in the Discord. Um, and hopefully that will work. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to trust, even though I'm getting signals that I'm worried about that I'm not sure. I'm going to keep my Discord open. I'm going to keep my messages here in case I see messages there. Okay. And hello. And this is, welcome to monthly live stream. So this is actually only 2 months in a row that I've been doing this instead of these calls that I used to have. And I don't know, there's something about the live stream, the immediacy of it, the fact that anyone can come in, the fact that it's still home on YouTube, which really has truly felt like home to me. Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying it out. And this time I will actually do a deep dive into what is happening to my live chat. But for now, hello. And I know a lot of you last time, a lot of you rewatched it afterwards when it was posted on the channel. I think it's posted under the live tab under my channel. So whether you're watching live right here, right now, or whether you're watching this later, hello. Yeah, so it's good to be here with you. Take a moment and sense the presence of another being through time and space. And what I really wanted to share, so last weekend, I quite last minute decided to do an online retreat. And it had been a long time since I did an online retreat. And I actually haven't done an online retreat since I've cohabitated with someone. So this is a really new experience. So these are retreats that they're hybrid. And this is a teacher that I've been on retreat before. This is a community that I somewhat know locally here in British Columbia. And it's hybrid. So they are actually there in person, having an in-person retreat. And the amazing people who know tech better than I do kind of make it so it's hybrid and it works really, really well. But I didn't know what to expect. It had been a while. It's actually been a while since I've done an in-person retreat too. I used to do them at least once every year. And but it had definitely been a while since I have done an online retreat. And so with an in-person retreat, some of you may know there is this container that you enter into depending on the style of retreat. You know, you give up your tech, you give up all contact with the outside world, and you really enter into a space where you're taken care of. All you really need to do is focus on your practice, and it's a really special chance to really shut out as many distractions as possible and to just be, and it feels like I describe it as being held and being supported. You literally are being fed, you have the structure, you have the guidance. A lot of times you can have interviews with the teacher that's guiding the retreat every day, and to really get personal attention and guidance on your practice. And of course there's the support of being in a group, you know, practicing in the same way. And that can be really supportive. You usually have, it may be in full silence or part silence, but there's this sense that whether there's conversation happening or not, it's all in service of practice. It's all very focused. I'm going to check a quick message. Yay! Hi. Hi, Nolan. I can see that you're here on Discord with me. Thank you. Now, when you do an online retreat, it's a little bit different. So an online retreat, I'm at home. I actually, this is my studio space. Spent I w I either was in here, and this is where I have my meditation. One day it's a mess. One day I'll give a little bit of a tour, but I have my meditation space here. I have my desk. This is where I do yoga. This is where I work out. This is where so much happens. So I was kind of in the home with my partner, still in the home the same weekend, I was confining myself to this space, either this space, my studio, or the bedroom, or little visits in the kitchen where I would get a cup of tea or get something to eat. Oh, and I would go for walks, for walking meditation outside. So the structure of retreat, which is very common, this was a Vipassana style retreat, and this is in the Buddhist tradition. And a lot of these retreats are the same way, where you kind of alternate sitting meditation, walking meditation, a talk with the teacher, maybe an interview with the teacher, asking private questions with the teacher. And this, even through online, they were able to facilitate this structure. So I was either sitting, meditating in this room, going for walking meditation outside, or sleeping or eating. And I was not communicating with my partner. I was off my phone. I was not communicating with the outside world. Um, and it was incredible how, even though I was at home, there was definitely this sense of being in a container, being really in retreating from our regular habitual patterns to some extent, and just kind of retreating from regular life to have this 3 days to be really focused on practice only. And so that means that, yes, when you're meditating, you're practicing, and whatever. And I did a little bit of journaling because I chose to include that as part of my practice. And but even when you're, whatever you're doing, the idea on retreat is it's all part of the practice. So opening and closing the door to the room, making that cup of tea, pulling the chair over, everything is with the intention of being as present as possible. And what I was really surprised by doing this retreat after years of doing an online retreat was, it was as if I it was as if I can explain it as if I returned to a place that I was very familiar with, and that is the retreat place, okay? So it's like as if I've done so many retreats that, even though I was at home and had all the comforts of home, and it could have been easy to not be fully immersed and to have, distractions, or to fall into old habits and not be in this, you know, sort of almost monastic experience of being, meditating most of the day, or at least being in a place of awareness or presence or mindfulness for most of the day. Um, I found my way back to this place that was almost inside of me, which was the retreat place. And because I've done so many, it was like, even though I was at home, I was able to go back to this familiar felt sense of what it feels like to be on retreat. And I was amazed at how well it worked, how very much I felt like I turned off everything in the outside world. But of course, you're not turned off. You're actually very, very much turned on, but your awareness is a little bit, yeah, you've reduced distractions a little bit, and a little bit more focused on wherever you choose, whatever I was choosing to place my attention on, which was the senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, although those are always minor for a lot of people, 'cause when you're sitting in meditation, maybe there isn't a whole lot there as far as smell and taste outside. But when you're drinking the cup of tea, when you're having the lunch break, then that's a chance to do eating, mindful eating. You can meditate while you're doing all these activities. And of course, above all, thoughts, the other sensory experience, which is thoughts coming in, and then working with that. And that's the whole thing, practicing. Okay, how do we work with all these layers of experience? um, And so, what I wanted to sort of share today, wherever you are on your journey as you're watching this either live or not live and you're catching up on this later, is there was this sense of reconnecting with something. And yes, I describe it as kind of going back to a familiar place, kind of reconnecting with all the many year all the other retreats that I've ever done and sort of getting back to that place. And that means inner stillness, and that meant some peacefulness. But also what that means is what I really what I noticed emerged what I really noticed emerged when I was in this place of, again, shutting out everything else, being really quiet and introspective, and really paying attention inside for a few days on retreat, was my own company. And I would really describe it as this relationship with myself that I have developed over the years, and that we all have a relationship with ourselves. And so that was an incredible thing to really notice, that when there was nothing else, no other outside of maybe the meditation teacher, but really no other, everything else went quiet, and you're in solitude essentially, because no matter what a meditation practice is, even if you're doing it in group, there is an intimate solitary experience happening. But I was connecting with myself, this friendship or relationship that I had with myself, and there was something really tender and sweet about it. And there was this, again, this familiarity, but also after years of practice, there was this, you know, this self-trust, this sense of, okay, I'm here alone. And yes, maybe there's some guidance, and maybe in moments there's less guidance, but it was as if I could rely on self-guidance. It was really this sense of, okay, there is always this. When everything gets quiet, there is always this. And this was, call it an inner voice, call it inner awareness, call it your highest self, your true self, whatever. But there was this sweetness with connecting with something that I could rely on no matter what, and not reaching for external help, external support, external guidance, answers out there. And it was like, okay, I trust myself because I have a track record where I have, you know, recognized when I needed help, recognized when I was in difficulty, when I was in an intense emotional place, and that I have the skills, that I have the tools to know that even on some small level, okay, I need to take a break. I need to just take a breath right now. I need to, like, soften these kinks in the shoulder. And it sounds so simple, but I think this is the most precious, empowering sort of thing that we can have, is the connection with ourselves, and also, yeah, that self-trust. So what I really wanna share, and I'm gonna keep this stream short today, but wherever you are, and I hope this serves as some inspiration wherever you are in your practice, but really how we can develop this wherever you are on that journey is by paying attention. It's so, so simple, but this paying attention is so powerful, because as we just pay attention in small ways, and if you're listening, you may be doing it on into some degree right in this moment, you're just noticing, okay, what does it feel like to be me alive in this body, in this experience right now? And what's going on, and how am I doing? So again, a relationship with yourself, hopefully a kind and tender friendship with yourself. And so that means intimacy. That means familiarity and getting to know yourself really well, so that you can recognize when you are well and when you are a little bit off balance. and when you need, and to be so intimate with yourself and be so familiar that you recognize that when there's that, when the breath is like this, when the shoulder is creeping up like that, when there's a little tension wherever it is, and for you it may be completely different than my signals, but to become familiar with those signals so that we can know, okay, I know myself. Mm, I know myself. I know that this is a signal that I'm feeling this right now. I know that this is a signal that I'm doing this right now, which is very common for me. And that intimacy and that knowing yourself so well that you can catch yourself as soon as you kind of creep into that thing, and that thing that you do that doesn't isn't helpful for inner peace. It's getting to know that so well that you can just, oh, okay, there it is, and also know what you need to sort of bring yourself back. So I think that's all I really wanted to share today. It's just the importance of self-knowledge, self-study, self-inquiry. So just getting to know ourselves. And yeah, basically that's what I wanted to express is in retreat that past weekend, there was this deep appreciation and deep gratitude that there was some, yeah, that I reconnected with that, and it wasn't like I did anything, it was just getting quiet and being like, "Oh yeah, that is always there, and that is myself." That is the wisest, highest, maybe purest part of myself, and then that company, right? That that guidance is always there. So I find it incredibly supportive. There's something quite sacred about it too, and it's just it's honestly fun too. There's something about having I'm someone who loves I love to spend time alone, and I love friends so much. I have a huge social side to me as well, but I also really cherish solitude. And when you have this rich inner life with this healthy and developed relationship with yourself, I feel like you never quite feel alone. And it can be actually quite fun because in solitude, there's actually a sense of accompaniment, of having companionship with yourself. And not only can it be fun and sweet in the sense of, that you're yeah, that it's fun company, but also that self-guidance, right? That ability to know that you have got your own back, that you know how to, be your own guide to co-regulate with yourself, which is actually a thing, by the way. When a lot of the workshops that I teach, there's a component about developing connection with your future self, and apparently, whether you're visualizing or however you're connecting or writing letters to yourself, that actually is a form of co-regulation just as much as co-regulating with a person. And I don't say all of this to be a hermit and reject, become completely solitary and be a loner and and to be isolated, but there's something so empowering to know that there's nothing to fear in being alone, and also that liberation that we don't need. Yes, it's good to rely on tools and other things and friendships, of course, but that ultimately you do have the capacity to be all of that to yourself, and that you have this rich, deep well of resources within yourself. So yeah. Thank you for listening. And yeah, just wanted to share a bit about retreat experience. I don't really think I have anything else. And I'm so sad that the live chat isn't working. And yeah, I'm going to leave myself a big note and to my future self, and yeah, really, really try to get to the bottom of that, because that would be so fun. And I feel like it would be more interactive, and maybe people would stay in more if there was a chance to really interact and chat. Otherwise, new regular YouTube video is going to go live tomorrow, and that's one that I'm quite proud of. And then I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of ideas for some more kind of creative, lyrical, kind of artsy videos that I want to make, but it's always a question of capacity and balancing all of the things. Um, there is a lot going on in my personal life as well, and so mostly going really well. So no worries there. But yeah, just a matter of allocating inner resources. So thank you for being here, and yeah, feel free if you know where to reach me. So feel free to connect. I know that YouTube is a little bit, and these live streams are kind of a one-way channel, but my intention is for them to be really, really supportive and for them to sort of be this library of resources out there forever. But yeah, I'm also here to connect um, and uh, and yeah, support as much as I can in any way. So thank you again. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we'll keep experimenting a little bit more, and this may continue to turn into this monthly live stream if it seems helpful and supportive and interesting, and if it technically works too. So thank you for being here. I love you, and I mean it. And I'll see you next time.